What's up, everyone in the garden? Been meaning to do this for a while. I'm finally going to start uploading videos, and what those videos are going to be about is really up to you guys. Um, and just so you know, I'm a bonsai enthusiast and just plant geek. As you can see, we got lots of epis, lots. We got some echinopsis behind them. You don't. Those are flowering cactus of different types. I even managed to get a variegated monstera cutting, which is kind of cool. You can see that down there. So really, I'll be making videos on all sorts of things. Some buds, flower buds. And but today we're going to be focusing on mame trees. I'll explain what that is. Those are very small bonsai trees, basically. And they're not going to be much more than about 4 to 5 inches tall. They're very difficult to maintain. Oh, I need that H2O. But extremely rewarding, and they could be a lot of fun. And they don't take nearly as long as the big trees. Some of those big trees could take 30 years to make. A mame tree you can maybe make in like 5 from cutting. Maybe I'll eventually explain how to do that so you can get started on your own mame trees. But for today, I'm just going to go over some of the trees I have and a little bit about the history of the pots that they're in, and we'll start from there. Here's a small lavender starflower. It's being trained as a clump style. There are many different styles of bonsai that you could make. Clump is basically a small little forest. I partially defoliated, and you could see what that does is actually it creates a second flush of growth. All those small buds you see coming out is the second flush, and they usually come out a little bit smaller than the first flush in spring. And they could be really fun. They make beautiful small purple flowers, and I'm leaving that piece of deadwood because I find it kind of interesting. The pot maker is Bushwan, or he has a lot of different names, but that's one of his main ones. He's a Japanese pot artist, and normally Japanese bonsai pots they don't emphasize the glazes as much, but this artist loves to just go wild on his glazes. So that's why I really like him, because I'm already kind of unconventional, so I figure might as well go with a similar kind of guy. I just love his pots too. And yeah, so that's the Mame Lavender Starflower. It'll be kind of fun once it fills in. Next on the list, here's a Ficus carica in a Imaoka Makinao. God knows if I pronounced that correctly. But he's the pot artist is he makes really only small mame pots, but his pots can be very beautiful and fun. I did partially defoliate this, so that's why there aren't that many leaves on here. You could already see that a second flush is coming out in some of those axillary internodes, and it'll be really fun once it fills in. The movement on this tree is really interesting, and you can see there's this putty I have here. The reason I put that there is so the wound that I made when I cut a large branch a while ago doesn't desiccate, and the meristematic tissue around that wound will roll over the wound if it doesn't dry out. So that's the reason for that putty. And let's zoom out. Here's another pot, a lavender starflower and a Bushwan. Once again, you can see his pots are very loud and kind of eccentric. I'm allowing the branches to grow long because you don't want to trim your trees too much, because then they'll lose a lot of energy and eventually decline, especially because they're in a very stressed environment in these small pots. So that's why I have these branches growing pretty long. I eventually, once it's healthy enough, will cut it back. And I also have this piece of deadwood. I don't know if I'm going to remove it yet, but as of now, I'm going to leave it because I think it looks kind of cool. Eventually, purple flowers will come out of this little tree, and I think it will match this yellow pot very well. kind of fun. Here's a little cascading, or semi-cascading cotoneaster. I have these branches growing out to get a little bit longer so they could thicken up. And it's kind of a fun little guy. It's also in a Bouchouan pot. You can see he's, once again, he loves those colors. I do too. I'm guilty of it. But yeah, this tree's kind of fun, a little wild. The form of a tree doesn't always have to be perfect. You could kind of let the tree, there's always a line of harmony and chaos, and some trees are just, they like to kind of walk that line of chaos more so than harmony. That's kind of fun. Here we have another Ficus carica. It's an edible fig in a pot actually made by an unknown pot maker. I talked to my pot dealer, not weed, but a bonsai pot dealer, and he couldn't identify it either. So all we know is it was made a long time ago, maybe in the 70s or 80s, and maybe by a bonsai enthusiast from Japan. And the tree, you can see, has very small leaves compared to a normal Ficus carica. We'll eventually talk about defoliation techniques. But yeah, cultivating trees at this stature, this size, is very difficult. Luckily, I have some misters that are helping me out. But if you don't have that, it could be a little difficult depending on your climate. But here in California, we need that humidity because it's windy, it's dry, there's a lot of sun. So we have difficult with mames, but I love mames, so I find a way. When there's a will, there is a way. Now this is actually not a tree, this is an accent. What an accent is, so eventually trees are displayed in a tokoname, and you make an art piece basically. You put a scroll in the back, you have an accent that complements the tree, and yeah, so this guy's a little frog that's kind of throwing up leaves. It's really fun. The artist is Okatani Zashin. He's a master carver, deceased, from Japan. He makes some very strange pots like this frog, but that's why people love him, because he is a strange guy. But his pots are truly unique. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Here's another accent. This is an alpine strawberry. They make very smaller than penny-sized strawberries. Really, really cute. Another great complement to a bonsai tree. I have a lot of fun making accent plants. You can see the leaves are not too big. It's a beautiful plant. So those are just a few trees that I've been working on that I have in pots. I have a lot actually in the back, so I'll be making more videos. And just put in the comments what you liked, what you want to see more of, and I can make it. Anything really plant related, I could do. And I'm going to be also putting some instructional videos using what I learned in college and applying it to bonsai or to home houseplant care, whatever it may be. So I feel like we could have a lot of fun doing this, and I'll have an opportunity to teach, which I really like doing. And let me know what you like. See you next time.